Hello everyone, welcome to our special winter weather update, where we break down the science behind the season and help you prepare for what's ahead. As we dive into November 2025, we're tracking a major atmospheric event, the polar vortex. This swirling mass of cold air high above the Arctic is a key player in shaping winter weather across the northern hemisphere. The polar vortex is like a giant invisible barrier that usually keeps the coldest air locked up near the pole. But this year it's facing a dramatic shakeup, and that could mean big changes for all of us. A sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, is currently disrupting the vortex. This rare phenomenon happens when temperatures in the upper atmosphere suddenly spike, weakening the polar vortex's grip. The result? The cold air it usually contains can spill southward, affecting millions of people. When the vortex weakens, it can wobble, split, or even collapse, sending frigid Arctic air plunging into regions that aren't used to such extremes. This can lead to sudden cold snaps, heavy snowfall, and even dangerous ice storms far from the Arctic Circle. Imagine the polar vortex as a spinning top. When it's strong, it spins smoothly and stays in place. But as it loses energy, it starts to wobble and veer off course, sending cold air in unpredictable directions. Forecasts suggest that this winter could bring intense and prolonged cold spells to parts of North America and Europe. Cities that usually see mild winters might experience record-breaking lows, while areas already familiar with snow could see even more extreme conditions. In this episode, we'll break down what the polar vortex is, how sudden stratospheric warming works, and why these events matter for your daily life. We'll also look at how scientists track these changes and what clues they use to predict what's coming next. Should you expect a deep freeze, or will your area escape the worst of it? We'll help you understand what to watch for, how to prepare your home, and what steps you can take to stay safe and comfortable this winter. So, grab a warm drink, settle in by the fire, and join us as we explore the fascinating dynamics of our planet's atmosphere and what they mean for you and your loved ones. Remember, understanding these massive weather systems isn't just about predicting the next snowstorm. It's about appreciating the powerful forces that shape our world and our daily lives. Right now, events unfolding miles above our heads are setting the stage for the winter of 2025, 2026, and the story is just beginning. By the end of this episode, you'll know why the polar vortex is so important, how its behavior could affect your neighborhood, and what you can do to be ready. Let's get started. So, what exactly is the polar vortex? You might have heard the term on the news during particularly cold winters, but it's often misunderstood. The polar vortex isn't a single storm or a weather event that comes and goes. Instead, it's a persistent, massive system that plays a crucial role in shaping winter weather across the northern hemisphere. Unlike hurricanes or blizzards, which are ground-level storms, the polar vortex is something entirely different. It doesn't form over warm ocean waters or sweep across the land in a dramatic fashion. The polar vortex is actually a vast area of low pressure and extremely cold air, swirling high above the surface in the stratosphere, centered over the North Pole. It's like a giant, invisible dome of icy air, stretching thousands of miles wide. This frigid air mass is surrounded by the polar night jet stream, a fast-moving river of air that circles the pole. The jet stream acts as a barrier, keeping the coldest air locked in place, almost like a spinning bowl of Arctic chill. When the jet stream is strong and stable, it tightly contains the polar vortex, preventing the cold air from spilling southward. This means the polar regions stay cold, while areas farther south enjoy relatively milder winter conditions. So, when the vortex is healthy and robust, places like the US and Europe can experience winters that are less harsh, with fewer outbreaks of extreme cold. But the strength of the polar vortex isn't constant. It can be influenced by a variety of factors, including changes in ocean temperatures, shifts in atmospheric pressure, and even volcanic eruptions or solar activity. These influences can disrupt the jet stream and weaken the vortex. When the vortex weakens, it can become distorted, stretched, or even split into two smaller vortices. This allows frigid Arctic air to escape and plunge southward, bringing sudden and severe cold snaps to regions that aren't used to such extreme temperatures. The polar vortex is not a new phenomenon, it's a natural and ancient part of our planet's climate system. It has existed for as long as Earth has had winters, shaping the seasonal rhythms of the northern hemisphere. Over the years, our understanding of the polar vortex has grown tremendously. Thanks to advances in satellite technology and computer modeling, scientists can now track its movements in real time and predict how it might impact weather patterns weeks in advance. This knowledge gives us a valuable heads-up when Arctic air is about to surge south, bringing with it the risk of extreme cold, heavy snowfall, and dangerous winter storms. Communities can prepare, and lives can be saved. By understanding the polar vortex, we're better equipped to face the challenges of winter. Whether it's dressing for the cold, protecting our homes, or planning for travel disruptions. Now that we know what the polar vortex is and why it matters, let's take a closer look at its current state and what it could mean for the coming winter. Now, let's discuss the sudden stratospheric warming, SSW, causing the current commotion. An SSW is a rapid warming event in the stratosphere over the polar region. Temperatures can skyrocket by 90-degree rings in days, impacting the polar vortex. This warm air disrupts the vortex, weakening and distorting it. The effects take time to reach the surface, altering weather patterns. The breakdown allows Arctic air to plunge south, affecting North America, Europe, and Asia. SSW events drive extreme winter weather like the 2018 Beast from the East. We're witnessing the start of another major event in November 2025. Let's explore the current status of the polar vortex. As of mid-November 2025, the polar vortex isn't centered over the North Pole. It's displaced over Greenland, with temperatures as low as 78 degrees C. This displacement signals stress, as a strong vortex would be symmetrical. A high-pressure system is pushing the vortex, setting up a dramatic breakdown. Forecasts show this trend intensifying, with a significant deformation expected. A massive temperature anomaly is developing, warming the vortex's surroundings. This warming is breaking down the vortex's defenses. The peak weakening is expected around November 28-29. Let's take a closer look at the powerful high-pressure system currently dominating Alaska, and how it's setting off a chain reaction in the atmosphere. This system is not just a local event, it's a major player in shaping weather patterns far beyond Alaska's borders. High-pressure and low-pressure systems are like opposing forces in the atmosphere, constantly battling for control. When a strong high-pressure system forms, it can dramatically alter the flow of air currents, sometimes overpowering its low-pressure counterpart. Over Alaska, this high-pressure system acts as a dome of warmer, denser air. It presses down on the atmosphere, compressing and squeezing the polar vortex, which is usually centered over the North Pole. This intense pressure deforms the vortex, pushing it away from its usual pole position and causing it to wobble and stretch. Meteorologists are observing that this high-pressure system is only getting stronger. Forecasts predict it will continue to intensify, which is a key trigger for a phenomenon called sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW. The energy released by this high-pressure wave is rapidly heating the stratosphere above the Arctic, causing temperatures to spike in a matter of days, a dramatic and unusual event. Because this high-pressure system is positioned directly over Alaska, it delivers a focused push to the polar vortex, steering its movement in a specific direction. This sets up the next part of the story. The polar vortex is now being forced to migrate, shifting its core and cold air mass toward new regions. In effect, the Alaskan high-pressure system is acting like a steering wheel, guiding the polar vortex along a new path. As a result, the core of the vortex and its frigid air are being pushed away from the pole, setting off a cascade of weather changes. This dramatic shift paves the way for the polar vortex to move toward Europe and Siberia, bringing the potential for extreme winter weather. Let's explore how this shift will impact those regions next. The high-pressure system over Alaska is pushing the vortex across the Arctic. Forecasts show the vortex moving towards northern Scandinavia and Siberia. This shift destabilizes the vortex, allowing Arctic air to break off. Europe faces a major cold spell with increased snowfall potential. Siberia could see even more severe deep freezes. North America may experience cold air spilling from the weakened vortex. The jet stream will become wavier, allowing Arctic air to dive south. This sets the stage for significant cold outbreaks and winter storms. Let's understand the zonal wind reversal. A major SSW can lead to a zonal wind reversal, a rare event. Normally, strong westerly winds keep the vortex stable. During disruption, these winds slow and can reverse direction. A reversal signals the vortex's collapse, removing the Arctic air barrier. Forecasts show winds weakening, with potential reversal in late November. This indicates a severe breakdown of the vortex's structure. A reversal means prolonged cold air access to the mid-latitudes. This sets the stage for a harsh winter with multiple Arctic air waves. Let's look at the impact on December 2025 and January 2026. What does this mean for winter weather? The vortex breakdown will impact December 2025 and January 2026. The stratospheric chaos takes weeks to affect the surface. Europe faces increased cold air outbreaks and potential deep freezes. North America will see a wavier jet stream, allowing Arctic air south. This could lead to a colder December and January than expected. The SSW event flips the mild winter forecast on its head. This doesn't guarantee a blizzard but increases cold and snowy conditions. The vortex breakdown opens the door for prolonged cold. Prepare for a dynamic and potentially very cold start to the new year. Let's conclude with winter preparation. In conclusion, the late November 2025 atmospheric events are remarkable. A major SSW is disrupting the polar vortex, pushing it towards Siberia. This brings the zonal winds to the brink of reversal, signaling a potential collapse. The vortex's breakdown opens the gate for Arctic air to spill south. This increases the likelihood of severe winter weather in North America and Europe. The impacts will begin in December 2025 and continue into January 2026. Prepare for a colder and snowier period than expected. Ensure winter coats, snow shovels, and homes are ready for the cold. The polar vortex is making its move, delivering a memorable winter season. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll track it with you every step of the way.